I'm going to show you how I built Old Man Simon's Garage. It's a vintage White River structure kit. It's a board by board kit that I like to build. In addition to the clips that I show you here in this video, you could also see more of what I did from a live stream on Rumble on August the 2nd. I'll put a link to it in my description down below so you could take a look at that. It shows you the very beginning of where I cut all the pieces together and glued the frame together. So let's take a look at what I did after that on the workbench. Old Man Simon's Garage, or White River Structures kit. And I got the pieces out. It's a stick build. And judging by the business card and the price tag that was in here, okay, here's the price tag. List $17.95 and sale for $14.35. And Lee's Trains from Philadelphia, PA. I probably bought this in Timonium when I still lived in Maryland, so that had to be in the 80s. But it's a stick built. Here's another view of it. Here's a side view of it right here. And so I made a copy of the template so I could lay this down flat and still look at the instructions. So we're going to be working on this. I'll probably be doing this on the Wednesday night live stream, at least a little bit of it anyway. So we'll see. As with any kit, the first thing you do is lay out all the pieces and then paint or stain them like you see right here. Instead of just having these two center beam supports in the center like this, I'm going to bring them all the way up to the roof. So I'm gluing this and this right here, and then once that's dry, I'll glue this underneath, because these are going to go inside, so I have to, so those are a little bit shorter. So board by board construction of the walls are completed and some minor details added to that, and I started putting them together, and here's what it looks like with the modified rafters that I talked to you about earlier. You don't get to see it in the finished product, but now you know that they're there. Enjoy. Now here are the clips that are from the workbench that was not in the live stream. I got a little bit carried away and I started assembling this thing, as you can see right here, before I put the signage on the walls. I normally do it before I assemble the walls together. So here I am sanding down the backs of the signage, and I got about 1, 2, 3, about 6 signs here, and I grouped them together to make it easy to sand down. And you just take the sandpaper or whatever grit that you like. I'm using 120 because that's what I got. It's nice and soft, pliable here. So sand it down on the back side, turn it around, and sand the other half down. And there's no science to it. You just you just eyeball it or feel it with your fingers to see, you know, if it's satisfactory, if it's thin enough. And this one's on a white background, so it's kind of hard to judge, but we'll figure it out. sometimes you go a little bit too far and it tears away too much stuff on it, and it just crumbles when you put the glue on it. But we'll try not to get that far. So I think that's close enough right there. I got an NRA and Mission King hybrid seed corn sold here. And then a Redman Pennzoil. What's this one here? I gotta get my goggles on to read this one. Hercules gasoline and Ford, a really old Ford truck. So I'm gonna have to change my blade on here because I got glue all over this one here, and I've been using this for quite a while. It's not very sharp on the edges, so I'll change the blade and then cut these out and apply them on here. I'll rush through the gluing process right here. I'm using Elmer's glue, and you can see I'm using it on a piece of glass, and I just apply it to the back of the sign and then put it on the building, and then I try to flatten it out with the back of the blade and then try to score the lines on it. And here's me doing a second one. And the reason I use the glass is because it's easy to clean up, and you could get the signage off of it real easy just by putting your X-Acto blade underneath it. Here is a closer view of all the signs that I have on the building. On these older buildings, it's a good idea to add as much signs as you can, because that's what they did way back then. And they make a drab wall look better. These corrugated roofing panels are 6 foot, scale 6 foot that way in HO scale. And they recommend cutting them every 3 foot. So I'm going to do a, like I did the last time, I'm going to do a 3 foot one and then a 27-inch one. And let's see what it looks like. On this one, it looks better with the 3 foot one, because it's 3 foot by 6 foot. So I'm going to keep it like that. The original plans on here called for the 2 center beams, just a straight beam going across, but what I did was I extended it up and made rafters out of it, so to bring it all the way up to the roof line to make it look like that. You're not going to see it, but you know it's here. You're going to see it right here. This is all going to be covered up with corrugated roofing panels. Normally you'd have a dirt bottom, but since this is so delicate, I'm putting it on a little, and this is 3 by 3 inches. I just made it just a tad over it, and I'm going to put it on, and I painted it gray just to give it some strength. Styrene. I use 80 thousandths on the larger ones, and this one 40,000 will do for that, because you know, that'll give me an opportunity to bring the texture of the ground closer to it, so I don't have to bring it up too high. Just put the last panel on for the corrugated roof. So here we go, right here. So now all I have to do is weather it a bit, and I'm going to distress it a little bit on the edges on each side to make it look a little bit older, to go along with the rust that I use on it. So there we go. And look at the other side. so you can see what that looks like. Alright, so we're going to let this set up for a little bit and then weather it a little bit. Let's take a look at some photos of the structure before I weathered it. I like to take a few photos of all the way around to see what it looks like, if I could do any more detailing to it before I do the weathering. And I have some weathering powders that I use, and we'll talk about that in the next few photos. I used Monroe Models weathering powder as www.monroemodels.us, where you can get more information on it. Medium earth along the bottom, and above that on the corrugated roof I used light rust and new fresh rust, and I also put some underneath the eaves on the bottom side of the corrugated panels, and any ink solution on the floor for the oil stains. Here is the area on the layout that Old Man Simon's Garage will reside. And thanks to a user on Facebook, they reminded me that it came with a Jordan's truck, which I had previously assembled years ago and forgot all about it. I had it sitting up on the layout in front of one of the other buildings. The next two kits that I will be building are Bar Mill Scale Model Works kits. The first one is Loft Candies, which I am almost finished with, and I will be giving it away when I do the reveal on it. And I'll be doing, after that, Twin Peaks, and we'll be doing a giveaway on that one. For more details, visit my website, or you could send your information, this is HO scale only, to workbenchwednesday@gmail.com with your name, address, and your channel name if it's on YouTube or Rumble, and we'll get you entered into the contest. You'll have to send it in twice, once for the Loft Candies, and when we're finished with that, we'll do the Twin Peaks. And how we'll do it is, when I do the finale on it, when I do the reveal on it, I'll announce that will be your last chance to enter into the contest, and probably on a Monday or a Wednesday night we'll choose a winner out of the hat, and I'll let Art Fahey know who that winner is so he could send that kit out to you. So keep that in mind. So don't forget, we'll have some more kits coming up in the future, and I'm going to show you a short clip of what I did in my spare time back here. You can see it's a little bit different here, and I'm working some more on this side over here. I'm working on my industrial area. I don't have a video on that yet, but it'll be coming up. So until the next time, we'll see ya, and have fun with those structure kids or whatever you're doing. I added some much needed scenic material to the edge of the layout. Now I'm just waiting for everything to dry. I just finished it about an hour ago. I have the two loading docks over there. Brought it all the way down to our Duane's Manufacturing. Right there. In between the main lines and the sidings, and over behind the back of Earl's Oil. I just finished the garage this morning, and I may put it over next to Earl's Oil and move Tommy tool down a little bit and Majestic hardware down just a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it fits. Or another possibility is right here next to Arduini's manufacturing. This Higginbotham's coal is going back there where those track lights are, in that little depression, because there's a little trestle that goes with that.